Mr. Bessent, I'm just a plain, simple man, the average, everyday American is looking at this hearing today. So can you tell me, first, does trade deficits constitute a national emergency?
What unfolded today was nothing short of a political beatdown. Congressman Gregory Meeks absolutely unloaded on economic advisor Scott Bessent in a brutal exchange over Donald Trump's tariffs, economic policy, and what Meeks described as a reckless strategy that's putting the country at risk. It wasn't just a disagreement. It was a full-force dismantling delivered live, with Meeks refusing to hold back even for a second. The moment Bessent began defending Trump's tariff plan, calling it bold, necessary, and strategically brilliant.
The hollowing out of the U.S. manufacturing
No, just yes or no.
class.
Yes or no? Yes or no,
It's a
sir?
national emergency, sir.
It does. It does. You're telling me trade deficits equals a national or creates?
Persistent and prolonged.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do you know also, sir, that for the last 4 decades, we've had trade deficits in the United States of America, and nobody said it was an emergency? Democratic and Republican presidents? You know what that says to me? That it's not an emergency because it hasn't been for 4 decades. It says to me that we should bring tariffs back to the United States Congress so that we can make that determination as the Constitution has said and not try to go around Congress. That's just unbelievable to me. Let me ask this question. Maybe they missed it. Who was the president, and who has been the president since January 20th, 2025?
Donald J. Trump.
Okay. And who was the president in 2024?
One believes President Biden.
One believes? You one of those non-believers that the election, the American people didn't vote?
I am not.
You're not? You said one believes? Do you believe in the Constitution of the United States and it should be abided by?
I believe in the Constitution of the United States.
So you believe in it without any second thought. You don't have to think about it. You believe in it and you would abide by it. Is that correct?
I have and I do, sir.
Okay. But do you know that a president has said he may or may not? He don't know?
Meeks hit him with facts, figures, and decades of economic analysis, slamming Bessent for ignoring the severe fallout American businesses have been suffering. Meeks snapped that Trump's tariffs weren't strengthening America, they were bleeding American families dry. Bessent tried to counter with talking points about supply chains, manufacturing, and long-term strategic positioning, but Meeks shut it down hard. He accused Bessent of parroting political nonsense while refusing to acknowledge the real numbers: rising consumer costs, struggling farmers, and small businesses collapsing under increased import prices. At one moment, Meeks raised his voice, saying, "Stop calling this a strategy. This is economic chaos. Real Americans are paying for your political fantasies." The room went quiet. Bessent looked rattled, trying to find footing, insisting that temporary pain would lead to long-term gain.
Let me ask this question. I couldn't believe my ears. Sunday, during NBC's Meet the Press, President Trump credited himself for the strong economy in 2024 when Joe Biden was president, but then he blamed President Biden for a weak economy in 2025 when he was president. Now, I'm not so sure how the American people puts that together. In 2024, strong economy, he tries to take the credit. In 2025, when he's the president, he blames Joe Biden. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it makes sense to most Americans, and I hope Mr. Secretary, you're a businessman. It doesn't make sense to you either. It can't possibly make sense to you. Let me ask this question. If a government, say, look, Argentina, I remember when I came here, and Argentina kept failing to pay its debt. Not once or twice or three times. And we were all upset about it, and we said that they needed a host, somebody needed to take over their government. You know, somebody should help the president of Argentina. If the United States or didn't pay his debt or something like that, we'd be very upset about that if we couldn't pay our debt. I mean, that's one of our focuses. Is that not correct?
Sir, the United States will always meet its debt obligations.
Always. Well, let me ask you this. Donald Trump, the deal maker, and you didn't answer Ms. Velasquez's questions, no deals, although he said 3 weeks ago that there would be deals. But Donald Trump, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, but 6 times failed to pay his debts on his business and went bankrupt. And you're going to call that a good businessman?
The gentleman's
I wouldn't
time has
invest in that
expired.
company.
The gentleman's time has expired. The gentlewoman from Missouri, Ms. Wagner, the chair of our subcommittee on capital markets, is recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I will try to keep my...
By the end of the exchange, Bessent was visibly frustrated, struggling to defend policies he once championed with confidence. Meeks, meanwhile, looked unshaken, almost energized, after delivering one of the most unforgiving takedowns of the year on Trump's economic legacy. This wasn't polite disagreement. It wasn't a mild policy debate. It was a direct, unfiltered showdown about the truth of Trump's tariffs, and Meeks didn't show Scott Bessent a shred of mercy. And the fallout? It's already blowing up. Clips are circulating. Analysts are reacting. Economists are weighing in. And both sides are digging in for what's coming next. One thing is absolutely clear. This confrontation is far from over. And today's exchange may have just ignited a new national debate on what Trump's economic strategy really did and who paid the price.